evening, everyone. This is Last Minute Movies. I'm Igor. That is Ali. And today we're talking about a movie that I am not particularly excited about, but I'm just like, whatever. And Ali is apparently really, really fucking stoked about that movie.
I'm not. I'm not stoked.
Oh.
I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic, but we'll get into that later. But first, let us introduce my friends. You have Royal from Eclipse of Fire Productions, and you have my good friend Dan Allen, Kaiju Dan. Say hello, guys.
How's it going?
Hello.
Pretty happy to be here.
Hi.
Cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're all just like a bunch of group of like nerds, filmmakers, animators, stuff like that. So we're just gonna be like giving our thoughts about Spider-Man: No Way Home, like a discussion, what we want to see from the film, like what we're hoping the MCU Spider-Man is gonna do after this film, how they're gonna continue this, and yeah. So we're just gonna give our thoughts. This is a very last minute video, no pun intended.
That's in the name. That's actually absolutely pun intended. This channel
You're
is
living
called
up-
Last Minute Movies.
Definitely.
You're
pun
living
intended.
up to your channel, and that's great.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank
So,
you guys. That's the support
so-
we need.
So I guess like who wants to go first? I guess
wanna
we
go
should get the
first.
we should get the most based opinion out first.
Yes,
So,
thank you, because I definitely have the most based opinion because I'm the least educated on the Spider-Man movies. Like, I know my Tobey Maguire stuff, I know all of the classics, but I'm not fully cut on a lot of the later Spider-Man movies from the MCU. So not all of Tom Holland, but for this particular one, there's just several points. I'm really excited to see Benedict Cumberbatch because I'm always excited to see him. But that's like the only good thing about it for me, other than like cinematography and all, because Doctor Strange and whatnot.
We do this crap.
Like, I think I just like Doctor Strange as a character better than Spider-Man, but I think I'm the only one in this room who feels that way.
Woo! Yeah, that is definitely a hot take.
Oh!
Yeah. So my thing with the movie, like, I'm not gonna go ahead and say how I just generally dislike superhero movies because there's no plot and more entertainment, but my concern about this film in particular is that there was a piece of information released that the director was still writing Act 3 while shooting Act 1, which in some movies, like Shining, worked out brilliantly. But this is not one of those examples. Vast majority of the time, it just means that they did not do a good job preparing the story and the script. So if the movie is fucked in the writing, it's kind of fucked. And yes, they say that Tom Holland had like a great idea for the final act and he brought in his own line or something like that, and the director was like, this works. And but I don't want to give it the benefit of the doubt because it's a superhero movie. So that's kind of my take on this. I am gonna walk in to watch it when it comes out, and I'm gonna be like skeptical to an extent.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So we're all gonna have probably like a little bit nicer opinions than Igor.
Oh yeah, no,
Because
I had to draw the line.
Yeah, for sure. So it's not gonna get worse. But who wants to go next on this?
I can go next.
Does anyone have anything to say about like what Igor said, or are we all kind of in agreement about that?
I have a based opinion.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, go for it, Royal.
I feel, with the bottom of my heart, this will be the best MCU movie in Phase 4.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's not much
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, no.
like the thing is, this is like the direct continuation of Phase 4. All the other movies are either prequels to Phase 4 or like bits and pieces that can connect to the next phase. This is like the first legit movie in Phase 4 that will continue the story and push it forward. And where it left off in Far From Home, I am legit excited to see where they can go here, because that ending, when I was in that theater, I still remember it, everyone gasped at that ending. And it really led to, like, anything can happen now. What's going to happen now? And it really, and I'm showing support not only because, like, it was after Far From Home came out, there was that whole Sony Disney debacle where it was like, oh shit, we're not going to get any more MCU Spider-Man, and that will be the end. Well, it's not going to be the end now, and we're going to see how at least this trilogy ends, because if hopefully the rumors are true, we'll be getting another trilogy down the line. So, so all I'm going to say is this will be the best MCU movie in Phase 4.
I think it's just gonna be because like the world has basically like ended, right? And it's starting to kind of come back now. So
Yeah.
like everyone, it's gonna feel like your traditional let's go to the theater and see a Marvel movie sort of thing,
Yeah.
as opposed to just seeing it on Disney Plus.
And I haven't gone to the movies in like over a year and a half now. So this would be the first time I go back to movies. This Friday.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat
Okay.
where I haven't seen. I think the last movie I saw, unfortunately, it was Rise of Skywalker.
Oh
Ooh.
God.
Oh God!
no.
Dan, no!
Why?
I want to shower now.
Oh man!
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so
Poor
sorry.
soul.
General like thoughts is that like I'm basically going in with. I don't want to say I'm going in with low expectations. I have no expectation it'll do anything like new or creative, as harsh as that might sound. Like
No, that's
the
valid.
only,
I
the
agree
only
with that
thing
100%.
I'm expecting it to do.
I hope it does.
I'm hoping it's good. The only thing I'm expecting it to do is have a bunch of Spider-Man shit that me as a fan I
Yes.
will enjoy.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
it's-
it's gonna be like a lot of fan service. Is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
like that's
I mean-
all I'm expecting from it. And
Like,
There-
right,
Yeah.
and it's kind of funny to look at it versus like the new Spider-Verse trailer which dropped for
Oh God, that was so.
right that
In the
It looks
Spider-Verse
so
2.
good, we like
Right.
shouldn't
Sorry.
talk about it because that's a whole different
right like
conversation.
but
Yeah.
just the comparison between that like 90-second animated clip of just this stunningly beautiful cinematography and character work
Oh.
versus just like all this
Miguel O'Hara?
shit. It's like
It's so good. It's so
God.
good.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised. Like, why are we even talking about this trailer when there's clearly other trailer that is like
Yeah, like
deserves
exactly.
all
Like,
of our
who gives a
attention?
shit? Yeah.
In this,
But the one thing I'm really hopeful for about the movie, I will say, is that hopefully, if the rumors are true, Matt Murdock is in it, and Charlie Cox returns as
Oh
Daredevil.
yes,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
like,
Yes, yeah.
I'm rewatching Daredevil now, and it is wild. I'm both happy
It's
and
so
sad
good.
because, I'm happy if he comes back and if Daredevil comes back. But at the same time, it will probably be not the same creative team, which
Yeah,
means it won't be as
probably
deep.
not.
Down for sure.
Alright, what about the obvious rumor that is kind of not a rumor? It's kind of like the biggest, worst kept open secret is Toby and Andrew coming back for this movie.
I mean, we know the Octavius is in it, so like,
Yeah.
I don't see why not bring Toby back as well, even for like a brief.
They're
moment.
obviously gonna be in the movie. Let's be real now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
Yeah,
like,
they're-
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely a plus for me for this film. Like, it's gonna be full of recycled stuff from Doctor Strange and Spider-Man movies from before.
Yeah.
But at least this one is gonna bring in these other faces into it, so that's like
Yeah.
exciting.
And
It would be
it's got
stupid
Willem
for them to not
Dafoe
do
in
it.
It's got
Exactly.
fucking
Yes.
Green Goblin, and you can't say no to Willem Dafoe Green Goblin. That's the best.
Oh, you
Yeah.
never can. Yeah,
You never,
he's
you don't
amazing.
say no to Willem Dafoe. Period. Like
Yeah.
in
You
any
just
movie.
don't. Yeah, like he's one of the best actors in our generation. If you've seen Lighthouse or any sort of Wes Anderson film.
Yeah.
So okay, I have a lot to say. I'm gonna try to condense it as much as I can. So basically, Spider-Man is my favorite character of all time. I'm not talking about in film or comic book. I'm talking about in all of literature, any sort of media. He is my favorite character of all time. He means the most to me. He's a very Shakespearean character, which is why I love him so much. He's the most relatable character to me, in my opinion. I mean, Dan can attest to this. I mean, the amount of times I geeked out about him in high school, talked about him in high school, all that kind of stuff. He knows what's up. So Spider-Man means a lot to me. And personally, I have never really felt that any of the Spider-Man films, except for Spider-Verse, have ever really gotten the character 100% right. I think we've had handfuls of his character, and the handfuls were good. Like Toby was good, and I think even Andrew had a lot of good moments. I recently rewatched the Spider-Man films, and
Andrew did
Yeah,
have
he
good
did.
moments.
and I think Andrew actually has the most potential to be the best Spider-Man out of any of the actors so far.
No,
But
I disagree.
well,
with
if you
that
look at his
completely.
if
I'm
you
sorry.
look at his acting chops, he's really good. But
No,
that's
he's-
not the point.
Sorry, he's got good acting chops. It's just the movies that he was in were shittily written.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I know that. But what I'm saying is like if they were well written, he has the most potential to do
Yeah.
the best, in my opinion.
But that
Yeah, I
applies
feel-
to every movie. ever
Yeah,
made.
that-
If it was
that's
better
fine.
written, everything about it would have been better.
I just think it's about like personality wise. Like he like in some of his moments he feels more like Spidey to me than I've seen for the other ones. When it comes to Tom Holland, I loved him in Civil War. I thought that was the perfect interpretation of Spider-Man. And then
Agreed.
Homecoming kind of switched it, and I was like, this is a little bit strange, but I actually do think it's a good film, and they were going in a good direction. And then Far From Home just took a wet shit all over it. Like literally all the MCU villains have been Tony Stark's sloppy seconds, like low key.
Well-
And I hate that too. But
So what
but
you're
I'm
saying is it's a good thing Tony Stark is dead then.
yeah, it's a great thing that he's dead, and I hope that he's just not mentioned in this film at all. So I want to like this movie. I want to love this movie. Like I want it to be. We can have a more so open discussion, but I want to see Daredevil. I want to see Spider-Man grow. I want to see him go through trials. I feel like his Spider-Man is a tragic character. He's the underdog. He's like he's the blue collar worker of superheroes. And,
I mean,
and we're,
Sure.
you know,
I'd say
and-
the thing with Spidey is that, he works best as a character when his issues are the most relatable to the audience.
Exactly. I
and-
100% agree.
I gotta say, like, Spider-Verse actually took advantage of that the most, I think,
Yeah,
and they executed
definitely.
it the best of all of them,
Yes.
because they crafted the world that we can relate with as well as the character, and it's like,
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, and in
Justice.
any Spider-Man story, like, and what's been going on with these MCU Spider-Man films that I haven't liked is that most of the conflict comes from him being Spider-Man and not from him being Peter Parker. Like, this is how it should be. Anytime Peter Parker wins, Spider-Man loses. Anytime Spider-Man wins, Peter Parker loses. And we just haven't gotten that. He's had like this Disney Channel life. He goes on vacations. I don't know how he pays for them.
Yeah.
Like I want to see him suffer consequences. I want to see him grow. I want to see him go through trials. I want to see this guy get beat down.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I do.
Look, listen, I
mean-
don't know about you, but it's very relatable when my, multi-billion-dollar tech company is stolen by an
Yeah.
ex-scientist. Like, that's very relatable to me. When my drones
Yeah.
get stolen, it's the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah, totally, 100%. Or like when my multi-billion-dollar friend dies and he leaves me with like all this tech shit. Like,
Yeah.
that totally happens every day, right?
When I hate,
Yeah.
God, I hate when my fucking private jet that picks me up on call is like
Exactly.
late.
let's wrap it up. So,
Okay, but here's how I'll wrap it. Here's how I'll wrap up my thing. Is it gonna be the best movie ever? Probably not.
Yes,
Will it be the
definitely.
best Spider-Man movie ever for a Spider-Man fan? Yes.
no.
Well,
Spider-Verse exists.
Spider-Verse.
second
Alright.
best. But all I see is this. Hopefully, it will give us what we need for a third Spider-Man movie. And I agree. Like, give us some surface level characters like from the comics. Probably don't bring the Avengers back. Really get to that neighborhood aspect of it. Like,
Let's get
I want to
some
see more of that
drama
story.
going.
Yeah.
So that
Let's
was
get,
the take.
we're getting Gwen
from-
Stacy.
Wow, you know what? That would be great. So that was the take from Eclipse of Fire Productions, you all. Check out the link in the description to all of our social media and whatnot. But kind of to sum it up, it seems like the movie will be exciting. There's a lot of exciting things that can happen, and there's a lot of faces that can make it beautiful, especially the Daredevil part. Because Ali actually made me change my mind about this. Like, I'm going to walk in expecting it to hold up all of those faces and do it well now. So now the movie really sucks as much as it can. I'm really gonna be disappointed even more. But yeah, that seems like that's the situation. Thank you guys.
And
for
I don't
watching.
know. Yeah, and I just want to see drama. I want to see Peter go through things. There's a fan film out there right now that's being worked on called Spider-Man Lotus.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
It's nice. As
Yeah,
long as they
I
get the
need
action
them-
right, because those indie films, like, they can get the right cinematography, down, but they might not have enough budget to pull off the action. So as long as
Yeah.
that looks good, I actually think that movie can be great.
I just want to see the emotional aspects of that fan film come into the MCU, and maybe when you have the new trilogy, you can have Peter dealing with all of these problems, trying to heal from whatever happens in this new film. Yeah, what do you think, man? Like, is that you want to see that, right?
I mean, that would be cool. I think my thoughts is that as a Spider-Man fan, my cup runneth over slightly. We have these movies, we have the video games, we have the Spider-Verse movies, and so in a way, you know, I'm expecting like I said, I'm expecting very little. I'm expecting a lot of fun, and I'm expecting, you know, Willem Dafoe to show up, and, you know, Alfred Molina to show up, and you know, I'm expecting
But we-
fan service. And
Where's the
if I
Jamie
get a good
Foxx
movie,
though?
oh,
We
of
don't
course, Jamie
just want
Foxx.
fun. We
It's
don't
gonna
just
be
want fun.
we're gonna have him get revenge for Spider-Man forgetting his birthday that one time.
Oh God, no.
That was so
Get
unexpectedly
it-
That
nice.
is
So, you know.
it's so terrible.
if we get a fun, I'm expecting it to be like fun, kind of, I don't want to say mindless, but like not particularly deep Spidey stuff with a bunch
Definitely
of fan
not.
service.
We
And
can't
if
expect depth.
Yeah, and if we get
It's
more
the
than that,
MCU.
it's just icing on the cake, so to speak.
Yep, exactly.
Facts.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. So
Okay.
with that being said, thank you guys for joining our somewhat messy but fun discussion that we had.
Always,
Like
man.
and subscribe if you want for more. Check out Eclipse of Fire Productions that's Rose channel. And then
Lot of cool
check
shit
out,
coming.
Yeah, he has a lot of cool shit coming. And then check out Kaiju Dan, Kaiju_Dan, his Instagram page. He does like a lot of cool Lego stuff as well. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. Peace out, everybody.
Who will win
so-
a fight? Who will win a
I'll
fight? Willem Dafoe Green Goblin or Willem Dafoe Lighthouse?
Lighthouse.
So,
Lighthouse.
Yeah, definitely
always.
Lighthouse. Lighthouse?
Yeah, this is not.
Definitely like he,
Yeah.
he comes on him like.
Oh my god.
Golly! Matt, we talked about this. This is a family show.
Fuck
It's
family!
not a family show.
It is
All right.
not.
Remember,
Forget
James
Electro's
Cameron was trying to
birthday.
make a Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man and Mary Jane had sex on the Brooklyn Bridge. Never forget that.
I'm glad you
Hey,
said
at
bye
least-
before you said that.
At least she's not dying from his radioactive sperm. Yes, that was a thing in the comics.
Just
Yeah.
leave a
So
comment
glad
so
none
you
of
don't
this is
forget
going to
about
make
his
it to the
birthday.
episode.
Wait,